Welcome back to Footballology. So up next we have the New England Patriots for their offseason grade. Now I've said this every year that I make any kind of grade video for the New England Patriots and I stand by it. It's so hard for me to judge their offseason or the draft or whatever it may be because you just don't know what Bill Belichick is up to. So when they brought in Cam Newton last year, I was just kind of indifferent about it. I was like, what is he doing? He I clearly want to try something. I believe he was just trying to try something. I don't know if he really felt like this was going to be successful or not, and ultimately it wasn't. It was the equivalent for me, anyways. It was the equivalent of watching your favorite superstar player after all these years be so successful, and then all of a sudden just fall off. Like he just went from being one of those dominant forces throughout the league, and then he just stopped being that guy. He age caught up to him, father time caught up to him, and he just stopped being that guy. And that's what the New England Patriots season was for me. I was more or less rooting for the Patriots than I was rooting for Tom Brady and the Bucks, if that makes sense. Because Bill Belichick, from a personnel standpoint, I believe in what he does. I can't question or judge what he does. I just believe that it worked somehow. But looking at their 2020 season, it was a rough one. They had a couple of opt-outs at the beginning of the year, which didn't definitely help their case on the defensive side of the ball because they lost guys like Dante Hightower. I want to say there were some other guys too. I want to say the McCourties, but I see on the screen that the McCourties were there. So it wasn't the McCourties. I feel like there were some other guys who opted out too. But they had several opt-outs that really hurt them in the long run. I think Patrick Chung opted out, but then he wound up retiring anyway. So I don't know. They just had a whole bunch of guys leave. And in the process, they ended up finding a lot of talent, honestly. I think it helped them see what they were missing, see their flaws in their roster. And they just needed some more help out there. Cam Newton experiment, let's call it what it was. It was a failure. It really wasn't that successful. Now, I know it was only 1 year, and they brought him back for one more year, and so I think that maybe that might work out. I don't know. Damien Harris showed up at the running back position because Sony Michel couldn't stay healthy. The N'Keal Harry thing looking really shaky right now, but overall, it was just one of those seasons that the New England Patriots couldn't shake. It was just a really rough season, and dare I say, we finally seen this juggernaut, this giant, kind of look normal, kind of look average, kind of look like a normal man out there. So when we fast forward to the free agent or offseason period, Bill Belichick essentially said that, okay, yeah, I know we looked normal, we looked average, we looked piss poor. Let's call it what it was. We just looked like a bad team. And I'm pretty sure after all these years, that's just something that left a really bitter taste in his mouth. So he goes into this free agency period, picking up guys like Matt Judon on a 4-year deal, which was really clutch. Kendrick Bourne is only going to add more depth and more talent to the wide receiver position. Nelson Aguilar, I don't know what Nelson Aguilar is anymore. One second in Philly, he's blowing it up and looking great, and then he looks bad in Philly. Then he goes to the Raiders and looks pretty decent. Looks like he could be a stud for them. And now he's in New England, so I don't know what to expect from Nelson Aguilar. But once again, decent signing. It is only a 2-year deal. Bill Belichick, let's call it what it was. The man was hungry. You know how the old saying is, "Don't go grocery shopping while you're hungry." And Bill Belichick was hungry while he was grocery shopping. And so he just went and spent money. So like guys like Matt Judon, like I said, Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Jonnu Smith was a good pickup. Hunter Henry, another tight end, because I think he missed his tight ends. Like he needed his tight ends. Henry Anderson at defensive end. Corey Davis at free safety. Ted Carsus at center, even though it was a 1-year deal. Kyle Van Noy, bringing him back for 2 more years. Montravius Adams, a big stud in the middle of the defensive tackle position or even defensive end position. David Andrews at center, signed him to a 4-year deal. Nick Folk, okay, whatever. Roquan McMillan, that one I'm really excited for because I love Roquan McMillan. I think Roquan McMillan is a stud at the linebacker position. I just think he hasn't had a fair shake. James White on 1 year, and then the list just consistently goes on. And so that's where we're gonna stop it. Not going past May, but the list consistently goes on. Bill Belichick was definitely hungry when he went grocery shopping and essentially saying that I need help. So you get the guys that opted out for COVID back, you get these free agents back, and then the roster that was already intact and guys who got that experience last year are coming back as well. So then you get a lot of pieces back that's going to allow this team to hopefully look like the Patriots again. So now when we take a look at the Patriots draft class, I said at the beginning, before everything started to kick off, and people kept having these rumors about Mac Jones going to the Niners and how Kyle Shanahan wanted to, pocket passing, traditional throwing quarterback and all that. I told myself, I swear to God, guys, I told myself that Mac Jones had to be a Patriot. That was the only way Mac Jones was going to have any success at the next level. I promise you, on everything I love, that's what I truly believed in. Trey Lance needed to be a Niner, and Mac Jones needs to be a Patriot. In order for those guys to be successful in their respective roles, that's where they had to go. And so when you look at Mac Jones going to the Patriots, it literally is a match made in heaven. There's not another team in the NFL that I believe that Mac Jones belongs to. Obviously, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick having that history together helps the case for sure. But I believe that those like Mac Jones, like just it was I cried a little bit. Like I shedded a tear when Mac Jones got picked up by the Patriots. It was just a match made in heaven. Then you move on. You got Christian Barmore from once again another Alabama guy from the interior defensive tackle, a guy that's going to create some more havoc and create some more pressure up front. And just oh my God, this defensive line is going to be looking pretty nice from Martavius Adams, Barmore, and some of the other guys that got up front. So I'm really excited to see what the defensive line is going to look like. And then I'm gonna fast forward. Stevenson from Oklahoma in the running back position is going to be another power back, a guy that he doesn't have explosive speed at all, but what he does bring to the level or bring to the game anyways is a lot of controlled run balls up the middle of the defense. Maybe he'll blow up an explosive run here and there, but for the most part, he's going to give you that short yardage action. Damian Harrison seemed like he could be more of an explosive guy. And he's still got James White. And then you still got Sonny Michel, maybe. I don't know what that's going to look like. But regardless of anything, the running back room looks like it's going to be even more talented with Stevenson joining it. But in the 5th round, Cameron McGrone. Now, I swear, I didn't know anything about this guy up until like maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. This man is really, really interesting because of the simple fact that he flies to the ball. Now, he didn't do anything at the pro day. He just measured up, and that was it. So, realistically, through the whole entire offseason process, he wasn't on my list or on my undrafted list or just guys that I was, like, looking for. But looking at the Patriots draft him and then going back and doing my research and looking at everything, it was crazy. I was like, wow, did the Patriots just get one over on the NFL? This guy has good explosiveness, good speed, and he finishes at the ball carrier, and I love that. And so you can get him in New England, get him right. You got McMillan there, you get Hightower back, and you get some of these other pieces back. And he might be just in a great situation where he can end up flourishing to be something special. Joshua Bledsoe, the safety from Mizzou, my friend, he went to Mizzou, so he loves anything Mizzou. And so Joshua Bledsoe, he said, is going to add good value. I'll take his word for it. And he's going to add some value to the secondary. And I know, especially with the McCourties getting older, Patrick Chung retiring, and I know Kyle Duggar, everyone's excited for him, and I think he still has a lot of good football ahead of him, like a lot of good football. So Bledsoe's just going to add more depth to a secondary that needs that competition and depth. But I want to see what Kyle Duggar turns out to be, and I hope they end up getting some good play out of him up this upcoming season. But overall, when you take a look at the Patriots offseason and their draft class and just everything combined, you have to give them an A. I know Bill Belichick went shopping while he was hungry and signed a lot of names, but he got some good quality value at the same time. He didn't overpay for anything. He got good bargains. He got good deals still. He's still going to be able to go home and cook a good meal, in my personal opinion. So getting guys like Matt Judon and getting Jonnu Smith and getting Hunter Henry, getting Kendrick Bourne, getting Nelson Aguilar, I think he still got a lot of good value. And then turn around the draft, add Matt Jones to that. I'm telling you guys, that there's not another team in the NFL that will get Mac Jones right. I think Mac Jones had to be a Patriot. It was his birth given right. Like, he had to be a Patriot. It's the equivalent of, let's just call it this. It's the equivalent of the Indianapolis Colts going from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck in my mind. That's how I see it. Not saying the talent level is the same between, Tom Brady and Mac Jones and all that bull. But what I'm saying is that's what we're experiencing right now, and no one's talking about it. Mac Jones is that same transition. They had that one down year. Now they get the young rookie quarterback in there, and I'm not sure if he's going to start right away. I say about week 4 or 5. If Cam Newton is struggling, we're about to see some Jones action, and I believe that Josh McDaniels is going to have a scheme and have a system already put in place for Mac Jones to have success because he's going to have some good offensive weapons. And a side note that I forgot to mention, Matt Patricia coming back. Oh my God. I don't think you guys understand how dangerous that's about to be. Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick back together again. This defense is about to be ferocious. The Patriots going to be right back in the playoffs. You got to give these boys an A just because of the collective offseason they had. It was just so strong how they put everything together and added some really good rookies to this too. So I'm excited. And so if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you're a New England Patriots fan, let me know what you think about the grade. Did I grade it too high? Did I grade it too low? What are some transactions that I didn't talk about that you feel like will end up having a bigger impact on the team as well? And if you are not a footballologist yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go and hit that subscribe button today, become a footballologist, and stay safe, football fans.